In the 8th inning, leading by 3 as Boone hits it to deep left. That might send the Yankees to the World Series. Boone, a hero in Game 7.
A base hit into the gap, and they could win it with Junior speed the stretch. And the 0-1 pitch on the way to Edgar Martinez. Swung on the line, down the left field line for a base hit. Here comes Joy. Here is Junior to third base. They're going to wave him in. The throw to the plate will be late. The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my.
It's interesting. In every sport, it seems like the best athletes come through in the most important moments. Mental skills expert Ken Ravizza has an idea as to why.
Learning to be comfortable being uncomfortable and having something to go to when the garbage hits the fan, because the garbage will hit the fan, and let's be ready for it.
Successful athletes have many traits or characteristics. According to Chapter 9 of Applied Sports Psychology, Personal Growth to Peak Performance by Gene Williams and Vicky Krane, successful athletes are highly confident, have strong performance focus, cope well with stress, and maintain control over emotions, among other things. Each of these attributes directly correlate with the use of imagery. According to Chapter 13 of William and Crane's book, imagery is using one's senses to recreate an experience in the mind. English professional soccer players Joe Hart and Robert Lewandowski explain how they use imagery before every match.
It helps if you recall a great performance from the past. My pre-game routine takes me back to the Camp Nou. Barcelona versus Manchester City, March 17th, 2015. The world's most feared attack threw everything they had at me that night.
Neymar's in, and Joe Hart is flying out to great effect.
I stood up to it. Now, I mentally replay every save I made.
Beaten away by Hunt.
I draw on the positive feelings they gave me at the time.
Hunt needed again. He's there again.
My routine fills me with the belief that I will play at my best. It makes me realize the only person who can beat me is me.
You use the same part of your brain to visualize an action as when performing it for real. So the night before every match, get yourself game ready by mentally rehearsing scenarios you're likely to face. Start by visualizing the pitch, the ground you'll be playing in, when the game is, day or night, the weather, the opposition. Now imagine your team is on the break, time you run. Control the ball perfectly. But when you visualize, don't watch yourself. See it through your own eyes. Decide how to beat the keeper. Feel a clean connection through the ball and hear the crowd erupt around you. When you visualize, you're training your brain for when the time comes.
Imagery allows athletes to practice skills, strategies, and mental skills without physically training. When used properly, imagery involves every sense, as told by Luke Vercolone.
And I want to tell you guys about the best type of visualization, and that is polysensory imagery. When we do polysensory imagery, we're visualizing, but we're not just using our mind and picturing the images, but we're also using our senses. We're using our physicality. We're using our sense of smell, our sense of touch, our sight, and even the sounds when possible. We want to place ourselves in a game-like environment. So what I encourage you guys to do is to lace up, put on your boots, put on your soccer boots, put on your game jersey even, and head out to the stadium, head out to the game pitch, and walk around on that field and picture yourself in certain situations that you're going to find yourself in the game. And imagine the sounds from the crowd, and imagine the smells and the feel of the ball hitting your foot and you hitting it cleanly, or you controlling the ball, or you sliding in. Walk through these scenarios physically as you're envisioning them mentally. in your mind, and that is polysensory imagery, and that is extremely powerful and very effective in getting those mental reps.
Major League Baseball star Evan Longoria explains how he's used imagery to create a career that features a Rookie of the Year award, 3 Gold Gloves, and 3 All-Star Game appearances.
For me, it's something that I think is overlooked a lot, and guys don't really understand how important being able to visualize things and kind of see those things happening before they do. I mean, obviously it's not always going to happen that way, but it's another one of those tools that can sort of give you that added confidence, give you a little bit more than maybe the next guy or, you know, the pitcher that hasn't prepared as well as you have.
Imagery is most successful when it is used extensively and systematically.
He's picturing this shot, or trying to picture this one.
I saw Aaron Baddeley do it one time when he won the Australian Open as an amateur. And I talked to Cole and I said, I can't visualize a shot when I just open my eyes and see it. So he said, close your eyes and see how that goes.
Jason Day's unique pre-shot routine of visualizing the entire shot from start to finish is just one factor that has led to an historic run in 2015 and 2016, achieving #1 in the world.
I try and do the best job I can with regards to not hitting a shot when I'm not ready.
By visualizing his shot, Day can block out any distraction around him and focus on whatever specific shot he needs to hit at that time.
Last thing in my head when I hit a shot, it can be either a swing thought, like making sure I finish my swing, or a slower backswing. That's when I'm focused the most, and that's when I feel like I'm in the zone.
Images should include conditions of the situation, behavioral, psychological, physiological, and kinesthetic responses to the situation. This will result in images being more vivid psychophysiological changes in the body, and therefore improving performance. Functional equivalence means that imagery has a similar functional outcome as the actual movement. Imagery is more functionally equivalent when it includes important senses or feelings associated with competition, is practiced the same way it is performed, meaning the same posture, clothing, and similar environment, timed at the same pace as the skill, is done through internal perspective.
Through visualization, you can start to simplify the game a little bit. I mean, the point is not to cloud your mind. It's to free your mind of so many thoughts and just start to focus on 1 or 2 things and, you know, start to see release points, start to visualize how hard he's going to throw the ball. You know, just specific things that you can take into the next day and feel that much more confident.
Imagery does have the ability to hurt athletes' performance. Imagery has negative effects when athletes focus on the wrong things at the wrong times. To avoid this, athletes need to create a mental blueprint for the perfect response for a given situation, as opposed to a disastrous one. Coaches can help athletes avoid this by refraining from negative feedback. How do coaches implement an imagery program with their athletes? Coaches must inform their athletes on the power of imagery. Make an effort to have athletes practice basic imagery, and implement an organized program of imagery practice and monitor it.
In basic imagery, developing vivid images, controlling images, and engaging in self-awareness are important. With this in mind, we shift the focus on how to use imagery, specifically how imagery is used on the offensive side of the game. For elite baseball players, like our friend Evan Longoria, using imagery started the night before he would face his opponent.
I used to lay in bed at home when I was in college, when I was first introduced to visualization. You know, we didn't really know who the guy was, but we'd know if it was a righty or a lefty, and you can kind of start to mentally prepare yourself. You know, just as you're laying down and getting ready to close your eyes, start to see those things, and it may make you a little bit more relaxed going into that next day.
Batting practice allows for a short practice session prior to the game, and provides an opportunity to tune up your swing and tune into your mental approach. This is the time to focus on what you are going to accomplish during the game, and focus on your visualization for the game ahead. Visualization allows for you to prepare your mind entirely, without demands or distractions of the game or the environment. You create your own ideal environment. While preparing for the game, watching the opposing pitcher warm up in the bullpen is a great time to look for tendencies. Important information to pick up while watching the pitcher includes what pitches he throws, release point, movement of the ball, what he throws in different counts, and pitch sequence to similar hitters. The on-deck circle is where batters step to await their turn at the plate. Evan Longoria uses the on-deck circle as a place to lock in mentally.
When I'm in the on-deck circle, usually I take 3 swings with the weight, and then I swing the bat around the back of my head, and then I stretch side to side, and then I stretch straight down and touch my toes, and then I rotate, and it's a whole song and dance that, you know, it's just something that, again, is routine. It's something that's away from the game, and it's away from any thoughts that might cloud my head before I go up to the plate. And then when you get, you know, when you're in the on-deck circle, pay attention to the situation. Understand what could be asked of you when you get up to the plate. You know, if there's maybe 1 or 2 signs that you could get from the third base coach, you know, start to run those through your mind and understand those situations. And just make sure you're ready to go up there and swing at the first pitch and be aggressive. I definitely think the on-deck circle is a place to start to prepare yourself mentally for that at-bat. You know, whether it's going through situations, getting yourself loose, taking swings, watching that pitcher and how he's approaching the guy in front of you. All of that stuff should start to register in your mind, and you should just get ready to hit.
While on deck, imagine that you are now at bat. Focus on the pitcher's delivery and focus on his release point. Visualize pitches coming from the pitcher and taking swings at those pitches in different areas of the strike zone. This imagery sharpens your concentration and prepares you to step into the box.
We hope that this video has provided a basic understanding of imagery and how to use it when playing baseball. For Anthony Goslin, my name is Christian Bond. Thank you for watching.